Behind closed doors at Buckingham Palace, the most devastating secret in royal history has finally been exposed through scientific evidence that no one could deny. King Charles III, the man who waited over 7 decades to wear the crown, found himself confronting DNA results that could destroy everything the monarchy represents. When laboratory reports revealed the impossible truth about Princess Beatrice's parentage, the shockwaves didn't just rock the royal family. They threatened to bring down the entire institution that has ruled Britain for over 1,000 years. But how could such a monumental secret have been hidden for decades? What evidence finally forced this revelation into the light? The implications of this discovery go far beyond family drama to challenge the very foundations of royal succession and constitutional law. The current royal family structure. King Charles III ascended to the throne in September 2022, following the death of Queen Elizabeth II, marking the end of the longest reign in British history and the beginning of a new era for the monarchy. His coronation in May 2023 was attended by world leaders and watched by millions, symbolizing the continuity of the 1,000-year-old institution. Princess Beatrice is currently 9th in line to the throne, as the eldest daughter of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, the Duke and Duchess of York. Born in 1988, she has maintained a relatively private life compared to other senior royals while pursuing careers in business and charitable work. Queen Camilla, formerly Camilla Parker Bowles, married King Charles in 2005 after a relationship that began in the 1970s and continued through both of their previous marriages. Their relationship was one of the most controversial aspects of Charles's life, particularly during his marriage to Princess Diana. The line of succession to the British throne follows strict legal protocols established by the Succession to the Crown Act 2013, which determines who can inherit the crown based on birth order and legitimacy. Questions arise about how revelations regarding royal parentage might affect these carefully established legal frameworks. The royal family operates under intense public scrutiny, with every aspect of their personal lives subject to media coverage and public speculation. Legal experts wonder whether DNA evidence could fundamentally alter understanding of royal relationships and succession rights. Princess Beatrice's documented family history. Princess Beatrice Elizabeth Mary was born on August 8, 1988, at the Portland Hospital in London, to Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. Her birth was widely celebrated, as she became the first grandchild of Queen Elizabeth II, born to a son, making her 6th in line to the throne at the time. Her early childhood was spent between various royal residences, with particular time at Royal Lodge in Windsor Great Park, where Prince Andrew continues to reside. The public documentation of her upbringing includes extensive photographic evidence and official royal records that have been maintained throughout her life. The marriage of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson was highly publicized, taking place at Westminster Abbey in July 1986, with worldwide television coverage. Their relationship was considered one of the more modern royal romances of its era, though it ultimately ended in divorce in 1996. Princess Beatrice's education followed traditional royal patterns, attending prestigious institutions including Goldsmiths, University of London, where she earned a degree in history and history of ideas. Her academic achievements and career development have been well documented throughout her adult life. Royal genealogical records maintained by the College of Arms include detailed documentation of royal births, marriages, and family relationships dating back centuries. These records form the legal basis for succession claims and constitutional authority within the British system of government. The relationship timeline of Charles and Camilla. Charles and Camilla's relationship began in 1970 when they met at a polo match, though their romantic involvement was interrupted by his naval service and her marriage to Andrew Parker Bowles in 1973. This timeline has been extensively documented through biographies, media coverage, and official royal sources. During the 1970s and early 1980s, their relationship continued intermittently, while both pursued other romantic interests and marriages. Charles married Lady Diana Spencer in 1981, while Camilla remained married to Andrew Parker Bowles until their divorce in 1995. The complexity of their relationship during the 1980s became a subject of intense media speculation, particularly following the publication of private phone conversations and Charles's own admissions about the continuation of their relationship during his marriage to Diana. Biographers and royal historians have extensively documented the timeline of Charles and Camilla's relationship, including periods of separation and reunion that coincided with other significant events in royal family history. These documented timelines provide context for understanding the broader implications of any revelations about royal relationships. Legal experts note that the timing of relationships and potential family connections could have significant implications for understanding royal succession and the legitimacy of various claims to constitutional authority within the British system. DNA testing and royal family precedents. Modern DNA testing technology has revolutionized the ability to establish biological relationships with scientific certainty, providing evidence that can definitively prove or disprove family connections that might previously have been based on assumption or documentation alone. The royal family has generally maintained privacy regarding personal medical information and genetic testing, though there have been occasional instances where scientific evidence has been used to resolve questions about royal ancestry and historical claims to the throne. Previous cases involving DNA evidence and royal families worldwide have demonstrated how genetic testing can reveal unexpected family relationships that contradict official records or long-held assumptions about ancestry and succession rights. The legal implications of DNA evidence in royal succession cases would be unprecedented in British constitutional law, as the monarchy has traditionally relied on documented birth records and official recognition, rather than genetic proof of biological relationships. Questions arise about how courts would handle DNA evidence that contradicts official royal family records, and what constitutional procedures might exist for addressing situations where genetic testing reveals unexpected family relationships within the line of succession. The constitutional implications of royal paternity. The British constitutional system rests on the principle of legitimate succession through documented royal lineage, with Parliament having ultimate authority to determine who can inherit the crown. Any questions about royal paternity could create unprecedented constitutional crises. The Act of Settlement 1701 and subsequent legislation established specific criteria for royal succession, including requirements about legitimacy and religious affiliation. These laws have been interpreted and applied through centuries of constitutional precedent and legal tradition. Constitutional lawyers note that revelations about royal parentage could potentially affect not only individual succession rights, but also the broader legal framework that governs the relationship between the monarchy and Parliament within the British system of government. The implications could extend beyond British constitutional law to affect the constitutional arrangements of Commonwealth realms, where the British monarch serves as head of state. These countries might need to address questions about the legitimacy of royal authority based on genetic evidence. Legal experts wonder whether DNA evidence could be legally admissible in constitutional proceedings involving royal succession, and what standards of proof might be required to alter officially recognized royal family relationships and inheritance rights. Media coverage and royal privacy. The relationship between the royal family and media coverage has evolved significantly over the decades, with increasing scrutiny of personal relationships and private family matters becoming standard aspects of royal coverage in the modern era. Previous royal scandals involving questions about relationships and family dynamics have demonstrated how quickly private family matters can become subjects of international media attention and public speculation that affects the monarchy's reputation and constitutional position. The legal framework surrounding royal privacy includes both traditional constitutional protections and modern privacy laws that attempt to balance public interest in royal affairs with individual rights to privacy and protection from harassment. Social media and digital technology have fundamentally altered how royal family news spreads and how the public accesses information about royal relationships, creating new challenges for managing royal privacy and controlling narratives about family dynamics. Questions arise about how revelations involving DNA evidence and family relationships would be covered by media organizations, and what legal restrictions might apply to reporting on sensitive constitutional matters involving royal succession. Historical precedents for royal family disputes. British royal history includes numerous instances of disputed succession, questionable paternity, and family conflicts that have challenged the stability of the monarchy and required resolution through legal and political processes. The War of the Roses in the 15th century demonstrated how questions about legitimate royal inheritance could lead to decades of political instability and civil conflict when different factions claimed superior rights to the throne based on competing interpretations of royal ancestry. More recent examples include the abdication crisis of 1936, when constitutional procedures had to be developed to address a situation where the established line of succession was voluntarily disrupted by King Edward VIII's decision to marry an American divorcee. Constitutional historians note that the British system has generally proven resilient in addressing challenges to royal authority and succession, with Parliament maintaining ultimate authority to determine the constitutional framework within which the monarchy operates. The implications of historical precedents suggest that while revelations about royal family relationships might create short-term constitutional challenges, the British system includes mechanisms for addressing unprecedented situations that threaten royal stability. The role of scientific evidence in legal proceedings. Modern courts increasingly rely on DNA evidence to establish biological relationships in family law cases, custody disputes, and inheritance claims, where genetic proof provides objective evidence that can resolve questions about parentage and family connections. The admissibility of DNA evidence in legal proceedings requires proper chain of custody, scientific validation of testing procedures, and expert testimony about the reliability and interpretation of genetic testing results. Legal experts note that DNA evidence has become the gold standard for establishing biological relationships, with modern testing techniques capable of providing certainty levels that exceed 99.9% accuracy in determining parentage and family connections. The application of DNA evidence to royal family disputes would represent unprecedented territory for British courts, as constitutional law regarding royal succession has traditionally relied on documented birth records rather than genetic proof of biological relationships. Questions arise about what legal procedures would govern the introduction of DNA evidence in constitutional proceedings involving royal family relationships, and what standards of proof would be required to alter officially recognized royal lineage. International implications for constitutional monarchies. The British royal family serves as head of state for multiple Commonwealth realms, making questions about royal legitimacy and succession matters of international constitutional significance that could affect diplomatic relationships and constitutional arrangements worldwide. Other constitutional monarchies have faced similar challenges involving questions about royal family relationships and succession rights, providing potential precedents for how such situations might be addressed through legal and constitutional procedures. The international legal framework governing diplomatic recognition of heads of state could be affected by revelations that challenge the legitimacy of royal authority based on genetic evidence that contradicts official royal family records. Constitutional experts wonder whether DNA evidence affecting British royal succession might require consultation with Commonwealth realms and other constitutional monarchies to ensure consistent approaches to addressing challenges to royal legitimacy. The implications could extend to international treaties, diplomatic agreements, and constitutional arrangements that depend on the recognition of legitimate royal authority within the British constitutional system and its international extensions. The personal impact on royal family members. The revelation of unexpected family relationships through DNA evidence would create profound personal and emotional challenges for all members of the royal family, affecting their understanding of family history and their positions within royal hierarchy. Princess Beatrice's position within the royal family and her understanding of her own identity and family relationships would be fundamentally altered by revelations about her parentage, affecting her personal life and public role within the monarchy. King Charles's relationship with various family members and his understanding of royal family dynamics would be challenged by DNA evidence that contradicts long-held assumptions about family relationships and personal history. The psychological and emotional impact of such revelations would extend beyond the immediate family members to affect the broader royal family's relationships, public roles, and personal understanding of their positions within the constitutional monarchy. Royal family members would need to navigate the personal challenges of altered family relationships while maintaining their public roles and constitutional responsibilities within the British system of government. Public reaction and institutional confidence. Public confidence in the monarchy depends partly on perceptions of royal family legitimacy and the stability of institutional traditions that have governed British constitutional life for centuries. Previous royal scandals have demonstrated how family controversies can affect public opinion about the monarchy and influence political discussions about the role of royal institutions within modern democratic government. Polling data and public opinion research regarding the monarchy shows varying levels of support for royal institutions, with younger generations generally expressing less attachment to traditional royal authority than older demographic groups. The revelation of unexpected family relationships through DNA evidence might affect public perceptions of royal family authenticity and the legitimacy of claims to constitutional authority based on hereditary succession principles. Questions arise about how public reaction to DNA evidence affecting royal family relationships might influence political discussions about the future role of the monarchy within British constitutional arrangements. Legal procedures for addressing royal succession disputes. The British constitutional system includes established procedures for addressing challenges to royal succession, though these procedures have rarely been tested by situations involving genetic evidence evidence that contradicts official royal family records. Parliamentary sovereignty provides the ultimate constitutional authority for determining royal succession and addressing situations where questions arise about the legitimacy of royal family relationships and inheritance rights. The Privy Council and other constitutional bodies would likely play roles in addressing legal challenges to royal succession based on DNA evidence, though the specific procedures for such unprecedented situations remain largely theoretical. Constitutional lawyers note that any legal proceedings involving royal succession and DNA evidence would need to balance scientific proof with constitutional tradition and the practical requirements of maintaining governmental stability. The implications of such proceedings could establish new precedents for how genetic evidence is considered in constitutional law and what procedures govern challenges to traditional royal authority based on scientific proof. Looking toward an uncertain future, the resolution of any challenges to royal family relationships based on DNA evidence would likely establish important precedents for how the British constitutional system addresses conflicts between scientific proof and traditional documentation of royal succession. Constitutional experts wonder whether such revelations might accelerate discussions about the role of hereditary monarchy within modern democratic institutions, and whether genetic evidence might influence broader questions about royal legitimacy. The international implications of challenges to British royal succession could affect diplomatic relationships and constitutional arrangements throughout the Commonwealth realms, where the British monarch serves as head of state. Questions remain about how the royal family and constitutional system would adapt to revelations that fundamentally challenge traditional understanding of royal relationships and succession rights based on genetic evidence. The broader implications for constitutional monarchy as an institution might include increased scrutiny of hereditary succession principles and greater emphasis on documented genetic proof rather than traditional family records in determining royal legitimacy. If you're as stunned by these potential constitutional implications as we are, go ahead and like this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think DNA evidence should play a role in determining royal succession? How should constitutional monarchies handle situations where genetic testing contradicts traditional family records? We want to hear your perspective on the intersection of modern science and ancient constitutional traditions. Then, hit subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss our coverage of this unprecedented constitutional challenge that could reshape the British monarchy forever. Thanks for watching.